What's up, guys? It's the Brazilian Bros with MACkite reporting from a very special place. We are in Shark Bay today. As you can see right behind us, it is an absolute beautiful spot with a lot of kites in the water and butter flat water. As you might wonder, we are here to meet Ralf Groesel. He is the founder of Brainchild Factory, and we cannot wait to sit down with him and ask some really cool questions. Stay tuned because this is going to be an epic episode of the Brazilian Bros in Cape Town, sitting with the man himself, Ralf. Stay tuned because this is going to be epic. Let's go. It's the Brazilian Bros with MACkite reporting from Shark Bay. We are here with a very special guest. We've got Ralf Groesel here with us. Hard to pronounce, but I try my best. And we are going to ask him some very important questions about Brainchild in this first section of a 3-part series interviews. So, Ralf, I wanted to ask this question. I wanted to ask actually this interview with a very important question, which is, when you were first starting Brainchild, you had to leave behind a very long legacy with a very stable and notorious brand. Why did you do that? And what was the motivation behind starting Brainchild?
So it's a very good question. I would say ultimately my personal dream was always to be in the position to make my own decisions. Since I actually started working for the industry, I always had the feeling that I would like to get the puzzle together, like all the little bits and pieces, the little dots, the connection. And that was kind of the main motivation to start that pretty crazy approach, really crazy, to get the ultimate production facility with all its abilities and possibilities. I would say that was the main reason to leave that legacy behind.
Awesome. And as far as we're concerned, you are the first one to basically say, I'm going to start my own factory and I'm going to be working for 3 individual brands, each with their own needs and their own visions. How is it that you're able to handle their expectations? And when it comes to kite design, are you trying to shape basically your design philosophy to their needs, or are you trying to maintain some of your hardcore own philosophy about kite design?
It's both. I think it's all about a compromise. I think the brands have been asking me to design or helping them designing the kites because they want something from my design philosophy, which I think was kind of successful, as they wouldn't have asked. But of course, it is very important for me to understand the DNA of the particular brand. And I mentioned that a couple of times before, but Reedin has a different philosophy than Harlem, and Harlem has a different philosophy than F1. So I think I have been able to create, together with all 3 brands, very unique products, which are, I hope, fitting nicely, not to say perfectly, because perfect is not available, but very nicely into the demand of the 3 brands. And you have been testing all of them, so you know that they are not the same at all. So I think super big challenge, the biggest challenge in my life, besides running a production facility out of nowhere. It made me, in this couple of last years, I became definitely a better designer, because that kind of influence I'm having from left, right and center also forced me to work with low V, not only high V, with different material combinations, with different philosophies from the kite itself. And the knowledge I've been able to capture is big. Let's put it this way. It's a huge advantage now for me also to look into the future.
That is awesome, and you're absolutely true. I think it's a big fallacy for some people out there who are like, oh, all these kites are coming from Brainchild, they're all being designed by Ralf, so they must be the same. And if you've been watching our videos, you know that that's not true. Each kite does have its very specific aspects, and we always like to emphasize that. So another question I want to ask, obviously the Brainchild Factory is in North Macedonia, and you have obviously a very special sort of product because not only you brought the ProWeld into circulation, but also the digital printing aspect of kites. There's a lot of novelty and innovation coming out of Brainchild. But if I was to go in there, or if for any other kite rider who maybe doesn't know too much about kite design, but if they were to go into your factory for the first time, what do you think would surprise them the most?
The most, I would say, grade of complexity. Like, I think what is very, very difficult to capture for average people, average kiter, is like how difficult it is to make a product like this and how many stages the material has to be treated to actually being from totally white into totally colorful and then into pieces and then from the pieces back into a final product. I think it's great of complexity, and we are doing these days a lot of our own materials as well. So I think everybody who is like motivated to see a little bit behind the curtain normally enjoys quite a lot to see behind the curtain. Unfortunately, right now we stopped that anybody is actually able to go to the manufacturing site. We do have now the manufacturing in the laboratory. Still, people are allowed to come to the laboratory, but not to the manufacturing site anymore. I have to keep it secret.
I was gonna say, you don't want somebody to go in there with a GoPro and just steal everything. Also, well, I wanted to thank Ralf for this first section of a three-part series. We're going to continue sitting down with him, but make sure to tune back for episode 2 and then episode 3, because this is a much longer conversation with more really exciting questions that we wanted to ask him. As always, thanks so much for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe to MACkite's YouTube channel and to follow both the Brazilian brothers as well as Ralf on Instagram for more awesome kite surfing content. See you in the next video.